first of all, Dad was gone a lot. He was probably on the road 100 nights a year. And that's where Mom really stepped in, and she was the rock that made sure we got to school, football practice, the dentist, all those kind of things. So it was hard on Mom. I mean, she really had to look after us and those kind of things. It wasn't a big thing that Dad was a congressman, because in Washington, D.C. at that time, most of our neighbors, everybody worked for the federal government. So it wasn't a big thing until he actually became vice president, and then our lives changed quite a bit, because that had elevated to a situation. At that point, we didn't have Secret Service yet. That wasn't until Dad became president, but it started changing when he became vice president. And they didn't have a vice president's home, or they were redoing the Naval Observatory where that was going to be the vice president's mansion or house. And so we still lived in our little house in Alexandria, Virginia that we grew up in. And the funny story that comes out of that is, once Dad became president, we went through the whole swearing in. You guys remember the images of Nixon saying goodbye and the helicopter taking off. And we walked into the East Room of the White House. Dad took the oath of office. We took the pictures, went to the Oval Office. But that night, we couldn't move into the White House because Nixon had left so quickly, so unexpectedly, not the pardon, but the resigning, that they weren't able to pack up all their belongings. So they left their daughter and son-in-law, David Eisenhower, to pack up all their clothes. And so it took 7 days before we could actually move into the White House. And so that night, Dad becomes president of the United States. We go back to our little house in Alexandria, Virginia, and we stayed there for 7 days. And I'm serious. I'll never forget, my mom was cooking dinner that night, and she looks at my dad and she goes, "Jerry, something's wrong here." You just became the president of the United States, and I'm still cooking dinner for you. And so that was our first 7 days. So that's how our life changed.